Good morning. This is another edition of Morning Thoughts. I'm busy stuck in traffic thanks to the wonder of load shedding, or put a different way, it's a fancy version of just a power outage. So on this editions of Morning Thoughts, by the way, my name is Retabile. I'm a counseling psychologist. I make YouTube videos about mental health. And also, in the process of doing so, I draw from my faith, my love for films, and other aspects of popular culture. Welcome to my channel. And if you find everything that's about to happen right now helpful and useful and informative, or at least fun, please do feel free to subscribe to the channel. I would love to actually hear from you, to comment. And if you like the channel, if you like the video, like it. So, what was I saying? I was speaking about the fact that I'm stuck in traffic, right? And I use this app called Abide that has meditations along with many other things. Very, very, very good. And today's meditation on Abide had to do with, I think it was Psalm 27, verse 14. It speaks about waiting patiently on the Lord. The context would have been David getting chased around by Saul in a cave, trying to get away from dying, and draws on multiple other examples in the history of the scriptures about people who found themselves in periods of waiting and had to trust in God's goodness for that situation, whatever it was, to work out. And there's two different ways that this has affected me. I mean, of course, as a Christ follower, it really got me thinking about, you could think about waiting on the Lord from a purely kind of esoteric, spiritual point of view. And you wouldn't be wrong. But I thought to myself about the value of waiting on the Lord from a practical point of view. You know, the only things that you wait for, ideally, are things that are worth waiting for. And when you wait for anything, you wait because you're expecting that the situation is going to become different. That is, in some sort of way, it's going to work itself out. Like right now, I'm busy waiting in traffic, right? And traffic is really slow because there's load shedding, there's power outages, the robots are not working, so everything on the road is clogged up. But I remain in the traffic because I have the reasonable expectation that I'm going to get through the traffic. Eventually the road's going to open up. I'm going to get out of the area where there's load shedding. I'm going to be able to drive freely because the robots are going to work. And so I'll continue to wait because I have hope, and a reasonable hope, in a positive or a better outcome. And I think about that in the context of being a Christ follower, because when a person who is a Christ follower waits, they wait because they reasonably believe that the God that they are waiting for is not just a good God, but is a capable one. That waiting on him is worth it, because the end result of waiting is that whatever it is that God had a vision for you as far as the events in your life and its meaning and its purpose was going to be worth the wait. Because the wait is the sacrifice. You could be doing other things while you're waiting. Like right now, perhaps I could be at home working. I could be sleeping. I could be doing many other more pleasant things than being in traffic. And it's a similar sort of principle when it comes to waiting on anything. You know, you go to school, you go to university, and you study. So you're putting in work, but you are in fact waiting. Whether we're talking about your undergraduate degree, your honors degree, or master's or PhD, you go through all of that. You do all of that waiting because you reasonably believe that waiting and putting in the work and educating yourself is going to be worth it in the long run. And that same principle applies not just to your faith, but also to your mental health, right? So like I said, I wait on the Lord because I believe that he is worth waiting for and that he is trustworthy. If I wait on him, that wait is going to be meaningful. it's a similar sort of thing in life. I mean, just yesterday I was speaking to someone about some of the challenges that they were experiencing. And these are things that I'm incapable of being able to fix myself. There really isn't anything I can do. But they were asking me for some tips, for some advice, for some useful words. And among the things that I said was that it's likely that the decisions that they're going to have to make are not those that they wanted to make. And that they may have to take a detour towards their plans and their visions and their goals for their life. And what it is that I advised this person to do was to use this season when things are not going the way that she wanted them to, this person wanted them to, as a growth opportunity. Because any kind of friction in life, any experience when things don't necessarily go according to plan, is a learning opportunity. Now, it doesn't feel like that at the time. So I don't want to be trite, and I don't want to act as if going through these experiences feels good. It certainly doesn't. And at the time, it doesn't necessarily feel like this is going to be a growth opportunity. It just sucks. But in my personal experience, in my relationship with God experience, in my professional experience for sure, there has been and there continues to be great value in allowing a time of difficulty to play itself out and to wait for the potential goodness in it to work itself out, and to understand that the likelihood that goodness is going to be able to come from a situation that you didn't want, which was unpleasant, which was difficult, the chances or the likelihood that goodness is going to be able to come out of that situation is positively correlated with how a person comports themselves as they go through that time. That to wait is not a passive act. It's to believe that things can become better. And in my experience, people who've been able to use their times of waiting well have been able to see that. Whether they've been able to use it as part of a testimony to tell people, as part of a story that they can use to inspire people, as part of a lesson that they can give to others in order to try and help them avoid the mistakes that they made. It's always a growth opportunity. And so what it is that I would urge you to do, if you find yourself today in a season of having to wait, in a season where it feels like things are stuck, or even when it looks like or feels like things are not going well, the first thing I want to do is to validate that pain. It's very important not to try and play it down. And I ask you not to do that to yourself. Don't shortchange yourself by trying to convince yourself that what you're going through isn't happening. But what it is that I would want for you, what it is that I pray for you, is that you are able to deeply understand, faithfully, and spiritually, to the degree that that matters to you, but definitely from a mental health perspective, that your ability to survive this and the likelihood that this, whatever this is going to be able to be used for good, is going to have a positive outcome for yourself and for others, is going to depend on how you wait. You know, it isn't a passive act. Waiting is an active act. It's something that's deliberate, and you can learn how to do it, and you can do it deliberately, you can do it well. I want for you to learn how to wait, because you're doing things in between. You know, you're growing, you're asking yourself questions, you're educating yourself, you're making yourself more wise, you're developing all kinds of disciplines that are going to set you up for the success that you're praying towards, that you work towards. So what it is that I want for you, what I pray for you, both as a psychologist and as a Christ follower, as a person of faith, what it is that I would want for you is to learn how to wait. Learn how to wait. Because sometimes you're just going to have to wait. Use it wisely. Use it wisely. Yeah, that's what I have to say for now. Thank you for watching. I apologize for the noise. My boy is at the back. I'm taking him to crash. And yeah, If you like it, like it. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and do so. Pass it forward to anyone else that you think might benefit from hearing this. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.